In Lies of P, the stars were more than lifeless, luminous sparkles in the night. In fact, the people of Crit recognized the potential the surrounding celestial bodies contained and eventually learned how to harness their power. The star fragments and the one-winged angel were a testament to this knowledge, and the magical nature of what lies beyond in the darkest reaches of space. However, few would notice that the moon held secrets of its own. Keep in mind this video is not so much a theory, as it is more of a lighthearted attempt to connect the lunar bodies that exist within these two fictional worlds. But before we journey to the moon, it's time to give credit where it's due. Kudos to WizardWolf1020 for locating the Easter egg in the previous thumbnail yet again. Now this guy is literally the reigning champion of locating the Easter eggs. If you look closely, you'll see the blind man's double-sided spear in the top left corner. If you're new to the channel, I've started playing a game with viewers where I hide an Easter egg in the thumbnail of each of my videos. The first person to state what and where it is in the comments gets a shout out in the following video. I'd also like to take this moment to thank Katie for making a very generous donation on my Ko-fi page. Your kindness and support do not go unnoticed, my friend. Now, back to the matter at hand. Georges Méliès' A Trip to the Moon is a silent sci-fi film that dates back to 1902. Despite its runtime of only 14 minutes, it masterfully tells the tale of a group of astronomers who plan an expedition to the moon. The vehicle of choice is none other than a cannon shell. Once the astronomers calculate the trajectory, they board the vessel and fire it towards the moon in what is one of the most iconic shots in film history. The man in the moon loses an eye, and the astronomers land safely on the lunar surface. Tired from their journey, they take the night to rest but are awakened by snowfall. In search of shelter, they venture into a nearby cave system inhabited by a race of alien creatures known as Selenites. The president of the astronomy club uses his umbrella to great effect and defeats a number of the creatures before they are overrun and captured. The Selenites bring the astronomers to their leader, and in a surprising turn of events, the president breaks free from his restraints, storms the throne, and slams the enemy monarch to the ground, slaying him in the process. The astronomers seize the opportunity to escape and retreat to their spacecraft. As they depart from the lunar surface, an angry Selenite latches onto the ship and hitches a ride back to Earth as it lands in the ocean. The astronomers are towed to shore where a celebratory parade is taking place. In the final scenes, the stray Selenite was captured and chained like an animal, and a monument was erected to memorialize the astronomers' successful voyage to the moon and conquest over the Selenite creatures. Suffice it to say, it was a bizarrely enjoyable film that most likely served as a satire to imperialist society and the pretentious nature of the scientific community. And speaking of the scientific community, it's time we turn to the Alchemist of Crit from Lies of P. If you haven't already, be sure that your tinfoil hats are screwed on tight. We know that Valentinus Monod and his predecessors had always been fixated on obtaining immortality. This very notion was simply the result of their initial encounter at Moonlight Town with what their ancestors believed to be a star that took human form. The collectible labeled So Said Pistris Volume 2 states that a star that was curious about humans pretended to be human, then became one. The humans saw its splendor and called it an angel. It goes on to state that eventually the humans turned to violence and ripped the creature limb from limb. The Moonlight Town Guide shares that this humble little village represented the symbolic location where pilgrims prepared for their journeys. Here, they would be lifted to the cathedral by pulley, in a symbolic gesture of elevating to a higher plane. This is not unlike the astronomers who also looked to the stars for answers. After charting their course, they too would launch themselves into the starry sky and return forever changed. Once they made first contact, their immediate response to the foreign life forms they encountered was one best characterized by violence, albeit with a touch of etiquette. No pun intended. The weapon of choice for the astronomers was none other than a deadly umbrella that would make its way into the hands of notable figures in the alchemical community back in Crit as well. By some stroke of luck, they were able to preserve a specimen whose capture would eventually be memorialized in a monument that celebrated their successful journey to the stars and back. The statue was etched with the motto, Labor Omnia Vincit, which translates to, Work conquers all. Similarly, when the alchemists tore the one-winged angel apart, they were not left empty-handed. In fact, their initial dealings with the creature from the stars eventually led to their discovery of Ergo and its incredible potential to serve as an energy source. This, along with the handiwork of the workshop union's engineers and technicians, propelled the city of Crit into a new age of growth and prosperity. Little did they know that their greatest creations would soon turn against them in a catastrophe known only as the Puppet Frenzy. In an ironic turn of events, their work would quite literally conquer and destroy everything in sight. It would seem that in the end, work truly does conquer all. It's truly a mystery how the Moon World Warrior toy and the Man in the Moon share such an uncanny resemblance. In hopes to further solidify the connection between these two masterful works, I had to track down the exact year that the puppet frenzy and the petrification disease had ravaged the city of Krat. I discovered that the grand exhibition was scheduled for an approximate date of 1890-something. This fact alone would sadly prevent me from presenting the possibility that the movie Vanini went to watch the night his parents were murdered was A Trip to the Moon, which made its debut in 1902. How unfortunate. The mystery of the Moon World Warrior toy was something that always piqued my interest, and aside from the fact that both Lies of P and A Trip to the Moon both feature encounters with extraterrestrials, it's likely just another Easter egg from classic film and literature. Speaking of which, Dorothy's presence in Krat was no coincidence. I think it's time we delve deeper into the profound impact her arrival could mean for Geppetto's puppet and the fairy tale world as we know it. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know you want more content just like this. Click on these videos on screen to continue your journey through Krat, and I'll be there to guide you when you arrive. Consider becoming a member for exclusive perks like emojis, members-only videos, and more. Or check out my Ko-fi page if you want to support me in a more personal way. Until next time, it's the Inhuman One signing out. Join the Inhuman community today.